Okay, so in today's video we are doing another battle, and this time around it is the Galaxy Tab S7 versus the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, and this is more of an update to a battle that took place between these two tablets a good 9 months ago. So let's go ahead and find out if anything changed in 2021. Now, to many of you who have been following the channel for a while and who did watch the original battle between these two tablets, you know, some stuff is going to sound or look familiar, but that's simply because you already watched the original. And major shout out, by the way, for supporting the channel. So let's go ahead and start with how the build has been holding up. Both tablets actually shared the same build in terms of looks and feel, and they have been holding up pretty great. No scratches, no dings, so cosmetically, no issues so far. They have remained very, very solid. There is a very obvious difference between these two tablets, and of course that is going to be the size. The Galaxy Tab S7, the regular one, is standing at 11 inches as opposed to the 12.4 inches that you will find on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. Now, how have the displays been holding up? The next obvious difference is going to be the display, right? The Galaxy Tab S7 is boasting that LTPS display versus the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus with the Super AMOLED display. Now, if you either one of these, so if you're a Super AMOLED, if you're an OLED display type of person, obviously the choice is very simple. Go with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus because that display, it's the best display I've ever had to use on a device, right? So you get AMOLED display or OLED displays on phones, but those are small form factor. When you get an OLED display on something like a huge tablet, like a 12.4 inches tablet, there you really realize how beautiful that display is. That being said, the display on the Galaxy Tab S7, so that 11 inches, is fantastic. I mean, Samsung tags it as a TFT display. That is simply for legal reasons. It is not your typical TFT display. It really isn't. You can go in the comment section, you'll see people who own that tablet, they will tell you how beautiful that display is. It's actually even better than the typical TFT display that you would find on the more mid-range and budget tablet. So the Tab S7 display is amazing as well. Now, some people reported that the Tab S7 Plus with that Super AMOLED display had a green tint. I personally never had one on mine, and it also seems as though the issue has been resolved anyway, at least for many of those people via a software update. So display wise, it's been holding up very well also. No issues reported on the Tab S7 display either. Everything remains great there as well. It has a resolution of 1600 by 2560, and believe it or not, it's actually more pixel dense than the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, and it's also even brighter at 500 nits. Now, if you are familiar with displays in general, that you would know that OLED displays tend to be a little bit not as bright as what you would find on the typical IPS. And oh, by the way, if this is your first time visiting, well, welcome to the channel. Of course, I'm really hoping that you're enjoying the content so far, and if you are, again, I truly appreciate that. Please do me a huge favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel here, and again, very, very much appreciated. All right, so let's get back to this comparison here. So on the Tab S7 Plus, the resolution is going to be 1752 by 2800, and image quality is just super sharp. I mean, it's just crisp. And here's actually an interesting story. I actually bought my Galaxy Tab S7 a good 3 to 4 months before I bought my Tab S7 Plus. The Tab S7, I was so amazed by the, how crisp and how sharp image quality is. Then I got the Tab S7 Plus, and then I was literally just blown away. Now, in my personal experience, because I have both and I've used both, I can tell you that the Super AMOLED display, when it comes down to entertainment, whether it's gaming or whether it's watching movies, especially in the dark, if you're watching something in the dark, that screen is, yeah, it's up there. The regular Galaxy Tab S7, whether you're watching in the dark or watching in a well-lit room, picture quality is also very, very sharp. Again, an OLED display is always going to be an OLED display. That is, top tier. That is as premium as you can go when it comes down to display and to displays. And the regular IPS or the LTPS, whatever you want to call the one on the Tab S7, that's also going to be, it's made by Samsung. They know a thing or two about displays. They did a fantastic job on that. Both tablets, of course, do support a higher refresh rate at 120 hertz, which again makes scrolling, just navigating it, truly enhances your user experience on, whether you're using the large one or the smaller one. Now, beyond just that display type, there is something to be said about the actual, screen real estate, right? You have people who prefer to have as much screen real estate as they possibly can, especially people, especially artists who need, all that space to do the drawing and all that good stuff, or just people who just prefer larger tablets. The other thing is the Galaxy Tab S7 is a lot more portable than the Tab S7 Plus, and that also has its own appeal, right? So you have people who would prefer to go for the regular Galaxy Tab S7 simply because it's a lot more portable, and it's virtually the same when it comes down to performance and all that good stuff with the Tab S7 Plus. And speaking of performance, of course, as I mentioned, they're essentially the same. The flagship line, the S7 line made by Samsung, it's rocking that Snapdragon 865 Plus, which, like I always say, when it came out was the best chipset on the market, and is still an amazing chipset, which is the reason I currently still recommend people go for the regular Tab S7 or the Tab S7 Plus as opposed to grabbing a Tab S8 when it comes out or a Tab S8 Plus when it comes out. Now, they both start with 128 gigs, so if you wanted to buy the options for 128 gigs of internal storage and 6 gigs of RAM, those options are available on either one of these two, and then of course you can go up to the 256 and be able to enjoy 8 gigs of RAM. Now, in terms of battery, the Galaxy Tab S7 is rocking an 8,000 milliamp battery, which is a smaller battery compared to the 10,090 milliamp you would find on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus, except it actually lasts longer than what the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus has to offer, simply because it's a smaller tablet. And according to Samsung, you can get up to 15 hours of battery life versus 14 hours of battery life with the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. All of that is going to depend on how you use your tablet. Battery on either tablet has been holding up very steady also. A super tiny drop in battery life, possibly because of that update, as I may have mentioned in the past video, but overall still very, very solid. Everything else is kind of just the same stuff, right? So quad speaker setup, USB Type-C, power button. As I mentioned, fingerprint sensor is going to be optical, so it's going to be under that screen on the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus versus the Tab S7, which has a physical fingerprint sensor, which is ultra fast, super fast. I love that one. I love having a physical fingerprint sensor. The camera is essentially the same, so you will pretty much get that 13 megapixel wide and a 5 megapixel ultra wide for the main camera, and that can actually record 4K at 30 frames per second. And of course you have an 8 megapixel selfie camera that does 1080p at 30 frames per second, and image quality also is very good. It's great for Zoom calls, calling family members, friends, co-workers, and all that good stuff. It has a great stabilization system on either one of these tablets. Very, very good cameras, especially for tablets, and they have been top-notch and holding up great for my Zoom calls, no matter which one I used or which one of the tablets I used. The quad speaker setup is actually a very nice thing to have there, watching movies, listening to music. You don't necessarily need to have headphones on. It's loud enough, especially on the Tab S7 Plus, definitely louder than the Galaxy Tab S7. You will be able to enjoy. That may also be one of the reasons why, one of the things that's sucking the battery on the Tab S7 Plus. But anyway, so it's definitely louder than the Tab S7. Sound quality is crisp on either one. Great sound on the Tab S7, great sound on the Tab S7 Plus, except slightly louder, still keeping that very good audio going. The S Pen is also going to be the same deal. Actually, they're interchangeable. Whether you use one for the other, it's still going to work, even for tablets in the mid-range category. But anyway, so same S Pen. Fantastic feedback, probably the best in the market. Well, the best that I've used. I'm just going to stop here because everything else is pretty much kind of the same and I don't want to sound redundant. So overall, these are, the best tablets you can find on the Android platform. So if you are in the market for either one of these two, you have to figure out a couple of things, well, a few things, because they are different on just a few areas, right? Is the Super AMOLED display a make or break deal type of thing? That should be able to help you make a decision whether you want to go for the S7 or the S7 Plus, because that's one of the major things that is different. The next major thing that is different is the size. Do you prefer larger or, smaller type tablet? That also is another major thing there. Now, are you like me who prefers actually to have a physical fingerprint sensor? That should be able, because it's only found on one but not the other. What are you going to be using your tablet for? In terms of performance, they're essentially the same. Whatever the Tab S7 Plus can do, the Tab S7 can do. But if beyond performance, you also want something that's going to offer you top-notch picture quality when watching movies, Tab S7 Plus, without a doubt. If you hate large tablets, well, it's too bad. Tab S7 Plus is going to give you that top-notch quality when it comes down to image quality, and of course, it's going to be a large tablet for you to enjoy. Now, on the other hand, if you are like these people who don't like OLED displays, then of course the choice is very simple. Go for the regular Tab S7. It's portable. It's easily, you can just whip it in and out without any issues. Image quality also is amazing on there. You will not regret it. So these are just some of the things that you need to keep in mind when shopping for this tablet. But anyway, I'm hoping that this was informative and that it helps you make that final purchasing decision. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, of course. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And as always, of course, up until that next video, stay safe out there.